every story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Olajuwakil Latuji. In a major story, reactions continue to trail the performance of President Muhammadu Buhari in office during the first 100 days of his administration. Election Petition Tribunal sitting in just upholds the election of former Plateau State Governor John Ojang as Senator representing Plateau North. Super Eagles of Nigeria held Taifa Stars of Tanzania in an AFCON 2017 qualifier in Dar es Salaam. And outside Nigeria, Morocco's ruling Islamic party loses out to Liberal Party in local polls and local elections. Many thanks for joining us tonight. One of the promises made by President Muhammadu Buhari just before he assumed office was to publicly declare his assets within the first 100 days. But shortly after, one of his media aides, Garba Shehu, let out details of the assets listed in the forms deposited at the Code of Conduct Bureau. Nigerians have been expressing their views. Basiayu spoke with some residents of Abuja.
The dust has not yet settled on the formal announcement of President Buhari's assets, as well as that of his deputy, and Nigerians in the FCT are already expressing diverse views. Even the explanation by his media aide seems to have ignited.
Labour Party is not impressed with the information released by the presidency from the assets declaration forms of President Muhammadu Buhari and his deputy Yemi Osinbajo. It insists that the details are not in line with laid-down procedures on asset declaration. The party's national secretary, Kayode Ajulo, told CoreTV News the assets of the spouses of the president and his deputy should have also been listed. 100 days in office has over the time become a moral standard used in measuring the activities of a new government, and that of President Muhammadu Buhari is no exception. For Morris Fayo, an activist, 100 days of Buhari has been a foundation-laying process for a greater Nigeria, a move described as good for the country.
The step everybody is seeing now that the Buhari administration is there to put some structures on the ground that will make a change in Nigeria. That's what we are saying.
The Legislative House's Election Petitions Tribunal sitting in Jos has upheld the election of John Ojang of the PDP as Senator representing Plateau North Senatorial District in the National Assembly. The three-man tribunal presided over by Justice Akeredolu dismissed the petition of Aisha Sambo of the APC for lacking merit. The tribunal held that the petitioners failed to prove their case beyond reasonable doubts. Delivering the judgments, Justice Akeredolu said the witnesses presented by the petitioners only testified on hearsay, as they were not present at the polling unit on the day of the election. She further held that the evidences presented by the petitioners were not properly certified, hence could not hold sway. Akeredolu ordered the compensation of 200,000 naira each be paid to Jang and the PDP. Sunday Oyawale, counsel for Jang, said the judgment was well considered and in accordance with the laws of the land. The All Progressives Congress and its candidates in the April 11, 2015 governorship election in Rivers State on Saturday reported to the state's governorship election petition tribunal sitting in Abuja that their witnesses who had earlier testified were receiving threats to their life from unknown persons. The petitioners made the complaints of the alleged threats to the witnesses to the tribunal through their lawyer Akin Lujimi. Olujimi said witnesses were receiving threats, warning them never to return to Port Harcourt, the state capital. Respondent Wike's lawyer Malo Kala denied knowledge of such threats, adding that Olujimi should have informed him of such a development before bringing it to the tribunal. PDP's lawyer Chris Uche also denied knowledge of the case, saying the complaints may be a part of the petitioner's plan to use it as an excuse for not being able to call all their proposed witnesses. The chairman of the tribunal, Justice Muhammad Ambrosa, said the tribunal would not be comfortable that those who appear in court are not free. He further advised that those who receive such threat messages should report to security agencies who must investigate and take all the necessary action. Meanwhile, the petitioners on Saturday called 4 witnesses who testified that the election did not hold on April 11 in their respective areas, adding that the votes which Wike was set of 1 were cooked up. One of the witnesses, Lawrence Chuku, who is a former vice chairman of Obiakwa local government area of River State, said election materials never got to overwhelming number of polling units of the local government area on the election day. Meanwhile, the election petition tribunal sitting in Lokoja is fixed September 8 for the hearing of a petition filed by Smart Adeyemi against the election of Dino Malaye. The chairman of the tribunal, Akon Ekweme, fixed the date while closing pre-hearing in the election challenging the election of Malaye as the senator representing Kogi West Senatorial District. Before closing the pre-hearing session, the tribunal also granted Adeyemi's prayers to call additional witnesses and admitted the report of the recounted ballot papers in 21 polling units. The petitioner's prayer for the termination of the primary election of the first and second respondents was also granted by the tribunal. The tribunal also granted the request of the Independent National Electoral Commission to withdraw its amended motion of reply to the petition filed by Adeyemi on April 3rd. The INEC's oral application to strike out some paragraphs in its motion was similarly granted by the tribunal. However, in fixing the date for the hearing of petition proper, Ekwem ruled that Adeyemi, INEC and Malaye would only be allowed 2 days to open and close their cases. She also ruled that 30 minutes will be given for cross-examination of witnesses, 10 minutes for cross-examination of other council witnesses, while all documents must be filled before September 7 and shown to other councils involved. However, the second respondent was granted 20 minutes for cross-examination, 30 minutes for examination of expert witnesses, and 10 minutes for cross-examination of other council witnesses. Adeyemi is challenging the election of March 28, which brought Malaye as the senator representing the Kogi West Senatorial District on grounds of irregularities in the results of the election. Kaduna residents have been expressing mixed emotions over the first 100 days of Governor Nasir El-Rufai in office. While many express optimism of better days ahead, a number of them are not too impressed with what is so far seen. Amina Nebi has this report presented from our studio. After 16 years, the People's Democratic Party lost out to the All Progressives Congress in the 2015 general elections. Kaduna State, which has been controlled by the PDP for 16 years, witnessed a change in leadership when the APC won the 2015 elections. But 100 days down the line, many residents of the capital of the old northern region have been speaking on their experiences since the change of button. Their opinion of the El-Rufai administration is as varied as their personalities.
For me, what I will assess in these 100 days for this government, there's nothing to show on ground that the government has done something or will be doing something. And with the way things are going, I believe in the next 1 year, I don't think the electors will be able to see any physical development on ground as things are going on.
Everyone that finds himself in whatever position now, it is God that decided to make that person or to put that person in that particular office. So I am not someone that complains about who is in government or who is not in government. But so far, to me, if I'm to judge the government of APC, so far so good. It's not in government.
They are also convinced there have been changes between the style of administration of the incumbent governor and the previous ones.
The government of Governor Nasser El-Rufai, I still have my support for him, but truly, I'm not so much pleased with the way appointments have been made. It has violated everything that we know about Kaduna. Kaduna is a volatile state. We have 13 commissioners, 9 are Muslims, 4 are Christians. You give the impression that Muslims should at least make a percentage of 70% of the state, and we know Christians are in the majority. And anybody who says that religion does not play a part in this country must be living in a fool's paradise.
Some people may say 100 days is a bit early, I mean too short, and so on and so forth. But personally, if I have to say, if you don't assess based on the current event, then on what indices will you assess a government? For example, 100 days in office are the yardstick now for us to determine whether the government has performed. When it is 120 days, we assess the government based on 120 days. If it is 150 days, we assess the government on that basis. So for now, we are assessing the government on the basis of 100 days, not 4 years. So on the basis of 100 days in office, I have personally not seen anything.
While many may not agree on the achievements of the El-Rufai administration, they are all hopeful that the incumbent governor would improve on what he met on ground when he assumed office on May 29, 2015. The candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the October 20, 2012 governorship election in Ondo State, Olushola Oke, has advised the state governor, Olusegun Mimiko, to judiciously utilize the 14 billion naira federal government's bailout for payment of workers' salaries up to date and for developmental projects in the state. Oke, who joined the All Progressives Congress from the PDP shortly after the presidential election in March, also called on all well-meaning citizens of the state to advise the governor on the proper use of the bailout. In a statement issued by his media aide, Rotimi Ogunleye, the APC chieftain says, and I quote, "Now that huge resources will accrue to the coffers of the state, it will serve the purpose of prosperity if the fund is used to defray all the arrears of workers' salaries invested in income-generating and social service delivery assets and channeled to projects that have long-standing economic benefits for the state." This is still CoreTV Primetime News. We'll be back after this break with more stories. Please stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to her husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Also, some people will strong for Yoruba land, will be strong man, we don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
If you're just joining us, this is CoreTV Primetime News. A quick reminder of major stories. Reactions continue to trail the performance of President Muhammadu Buhari in office during the first 100 days of his administration. Election Petition Tribunal sitting unjust opposed the election of former Plateau State Governor Jonajang as Senator representing Plateau North. Super Eagles of Nigeria hold Taifa Stars of Tanzania in an AFCON 2017 qualifier in Dar es Salaam. For more news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV, /the news. The 31 Artillery Brigade, MENA, said it has arrested a suspected cattle rustler and recovered 97 cows and 41 sheep in Sakin Power, Munyan local government area of Niger State. Captain Ogoing G. Decker, Assistant Director, Army Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Army in Minna, said this while briefing newsmen in Minna on Saturday. Njideka said the suspect, Abubakar Hassan, was arrested last Thursday in an operation led by Lieutenant Colonel Adamu Yakubu, commanding officer 313 Artillery Regiments in Minna. She said the army authorities had handed the suspect and the livestock to the chairman of the local government's council. In the presence of the DPO, Sakin Power Division, the council secretary and village head of Zagzaga community in the area. She said the operation to get rid of criminals in the area was ongoing and warned that the brigade, under the leadership of Brigadier General Baba Ibrahim, would not tolerate criminal acts in the area. She further advised members of the public to go about their normal businesses without fear of intimidation. Njideka urged any person with useful information that could lead to the arrest of the suspected criminals that fled to report to the nearest security agency. Kidnappers have abducted Azuko Ekpeyong Ekpe, the elder brother to the immediate past Director General, Department of State Security Service, Ita Ekpeyong. Ekpeyong was abducted at his Creektown residence in Odukwane local government area of Cross River State at about 4 a.m. on Saturday morning by armed kidnappers who came in through the creeks of Calabar estuaries. A family source, George Okun, said the kidnappers passed through a canal leading to Ekpe's residence and abducted him. The state police public relations officer, Hokan Basi, who confirmed the abduction, said the kidnappers will soon be trapped. A 71-year-old retired pastor of a Pentecostal church in Abriba, Ohafia local government area of Abia State, Chima Egbochiogun, and his wife, Ugo, have been arrested for an alleged illegal adoption of a baby. Commissioner of Police Joshua Kabila, who paraded the couple in Umuahia alongside other suspects in connection with the incident, alleged they bought a stolen baby. The police both said the pastor and his wife were nabbed following a confession by a notorious child trafficker who was arrested last month for human trafficking. According to him, the child trafficker, identified simply as a Tususi, stole an 11-month-old baby girl belonging to his 21-year-old pregnant mother who he had pretended to assist. He said a Kutusi had approached the young woman who had a baby out of wedlock, but promised that he would secure a job opportunity for her. The excited woman was said to have left her baby in the custody of a Watusi when she went to buy food for her. According to Habila, the suspect was later intercepted by the police at a Warrington, and he was allegedly trafficking pregnant girls to Port Harcourt. He said the suspect confessed to his criminal activities, including the stealing of the 11-month-old baby during interrogations. His confession led to the arrest of the pastor who allegedly adopted the stolen baby. Habila said the suspect sold the baby at the cost of 500,000 naira to the wife of the pastor. But in an interview with journalists, the pastor said he was not aware that the baby adopted by his wife was a stolen child. He said he was innocent of the crime as he thought the adoption process followed due process. As the current upsurge of helicopter crashes in the country continues to draw different reactions from commentators, aviation expert Babatunde Adetayo says that policies in the sector needs a serious revamp for the incidence of crashes to stop and also for the general development of the sector. The report. Transportation by air and its many challenges has directly affected the Nigerian economy in negative ways over the years. The aviation industry has witnessed the loss of lives and property, running into billions of naira due to alleged mismanagement and air accidents across the Federation. For these aviation experts, Babatunde Adetayo, the current policies in the aviation sector needs to be revamped for the sector to really be one of pride for all Nigerians.
One of the things to be done is to have a well-articulated aviation policy, national aviation policy. This will set the tone for many other things in aviation. This must be made, revised, and published so people will know. So even now we are thinking of having a national carrier. That is something that will be like Nigerian Airways, to be able to cut across board, go everywhere in the world, to carry Nigerians and non-Nigerians alike. Now, that one to be done, that means we have to have a bankable business plan in place. A business plan for a national business must address three key things: the growth of the economy, the development of the people, and the integration.
From 1969 to 2012, a total of 2,021 people have lost their lives and property to air mishaps. He added that the Accident Investigation Bureau should also be empowered to ensure the issue of search and rescue, which has been a major sticking point in this sector, is addressed.
Normally in aviation, we don't apportion blame to anybody. Because if you blame people, people will be afraid to do what is right. They will be afraid to do what is best for the industry. And you will not be able to find out the truth. No, it is not. Because usually these boxes are placed in a place that should an aircraft crash, it's easy for you to, if you are trained, you can easily find, you know where to find it, because it's usually placed in a place that is strategic, such that even when there's a crash, it doesn't go with the larger part of the aeroplane. Okay, but if it crashes in a place like the ocean, like the sea, being a box, when it goes down, it can easily move. And usually, we need to educate people too. For example, a fisherman might have seen it. The so-called black box is not black in color. On the backs of it, some are orange, some have the yellow stripes. That's the color, so that it can be seen easily.
Nigeria has 20 airports and many regulated airstrips and heliports, 23 active domestic airlines, 554 licensed pilots, 913 licensed engineers, and 1,700 cabin personnel. Nigeria, being Africa's most populous country, is an important destination for over 22 foreign carriers with bilateral air services agreements with over 78 countries. But for many, all this had to be complemented by good policies and a comprehensive infrastructural upgrade of facilities in the sector. Olajumoke Olatuji, CoreTV News, Lagos. Port Regionals has said that the governor of Plateau State, Simeon Lalong, has sacked 7 permanent secretaries and appointed 12 others. The governor revised the position of 9 others, while 12 others have been newly appointed. And this was made known to the press in a statement signed by the state head of service, Huda Wenge. Now moving on, poliomyelitis is a highly infectious disease caused by the wild polio virus, which is spread by contaminated food and water. Polio can lead to permanent paralysis or even death, mainly affecting children under 5 years of age. According to a report released mid-August by the World Health Organization, WHO, Nigeria is closer to being declared polio-free by 2017 if no new cases of the disease are recorded. On this report, CoreTV correspondent Netu Ilabare takes a look at the history of the fight against polio and current administration's effort to achieving the 2017 goal a reality.
Polio is deadly, and 1 in every 200 children gets paralyzed as a result of its infection. With the exception of India and Nigeria, polio has been eradicated in most countries, thanks to over 20 million health workers vaccinating children worldwide. The bid to eradicate the virus has led to the creation of national immunization days and weeks on a yearly basis for some time now. With the support of development partners such as the United Nations Children Education Fund, UNICEF, children in Nigeria under the age of 5 are targeted by over 2,000 social mobilizers and thousands of immunization officials nationwide. Nigeria has also, in recent years, stepped up efforts to ensure the country conquer the scourge. Dr. Jonathan Sowadog, a public health practitioner, shed more light on this.
Polio is a short form of poliomyelitis, okay, and that's an infection that affects basically the central nervous system. It's a viral infection and it's caused by oral polio virus. Okay, so it's purely a viral infection.
In fact, Nigerian health workers took the bull by the horn by going from door to ensure every child gets immunized. The expert agreed that effective administration of the vaccine stops infection of the virus that causes polio.
The health workers that will move from door to give the children, they give what we call booster doses, apart from the normal routine ones that is being scheduled in the immunization. Okay, so these booster doses have gone a long way to curb polio infection in this country.
In Nigeria, type 2 and type 3 strains of white polio vaccine has been effectively eradicated, but the challenge is eradicating of type 1. Dr. Shuadog raises hope of a polio-free Nigeria in view of successes recorded so far.
No, but based on what's on ground now, it's been said that if from now till 2017 there is no single recorded case of polio, then Nigeria will be declared polio-free.
While the talk goes on about wiping out the virus totally, it is hoped that words will be matched with adequate actions for Nigeria to surely say a bye-bye to polio. Netu Ilare, CoreTV News.
The art of people undergoing cosmetic surgery to reshape their body structure is fast becoming a global trend. In this report, Abiola Oluwole takes a look at the supposedly new developments in the nation's health sector.
Plastic surgery is a medical procedure with the purpose of alteration or restoring the form of the body. Though cosmetic or aesthetic surgery is the most well-known kind of plastic surgery, plastic surgery itself is not necessarily considered cosmetic. It is no longer news that people around the world now undergo medical procedure to reshape their arms, face, tummy, hips, thigh, vaginal tightening, breast augmentation, birth enlargement, and buttocks, amongst others.
For instance, if you have had weight loss and you have excess skin, you need to remove them for you to be able to look good. All these extra skin coming from the arm, that's, part of what we want to do. And you have a big tummy, you want to reduce it, you've tried a lot of weight loss program and it's not just happening to you. And you really want to look good. Why not?
According to experts, the rising numbers of Nigerians seeking cosmetic surgery services is making it inevitable for medical practitioners to develop capacity in that area as a way of stemming the tide of those who go abroad for medical surgery and also as another source of revenue for health sector.
Because we know that a lot of Nigerians, they go outside the country to do it. And a lot of people don't really want to talk about it. But you see some people, that they've done some surgeries. So we are trying to come into the open to say it's safe and it's something that everybody should be proud of.
Many people will go to the US to do it. But like most things in Nigeria, it's done underground. And once anything is done underground, safety is usually an issue. And that's why we have decided to bring it to the fore.
The question is, are Nigerians ready to put themselves under the blade for beauty?
Of course I cannot do that. Why will I do that? Since if I do that, that means I am trying to help God in recreating who I am again. So I don't think it's wise for any human being to try to change the way they look.
Restriction of physique is not an issue, but the point is that the location or where it's been done. We have issues in this country, issue of power, and if if someone undergoes such, and there's a power surge, what happens?
With the introduction of cosmetic surgery centers into the nation's health sector, expectations of Nigerians, in the words of medical experts, is for federal government to institute relevant agency to regulate the activities of cosmetic surgeons in the country so as to prevent situations where surgical implants explode as seen in other parts of the world. Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Nigerian movie industry, popularly called Nollywood, has grown to promote the qualities of actors and actresses as well as enrich the African culture over the years through creative script writing, directing and producing. In this report, CoreTV takes a look at filmmaking in the 21st century, the challenges and opportunities that abound. Netu Ilare has more.
Nollywood, fourth largest in the world after Americans' Hollywood and India's Bollywood, showcases bright brains who has made the Nigerian screen and stage a force to reckon with. The quality of films produced yearly attests to this. Challenges abound, however. Femi Odugbemi, an award-winning filmmaker, writer, and photographer, speak on the opportunities that abound in this growing industry. As one who writes, directs, documentaries, drama, and commercials, Odugbemi believes creativity has no bounds. Nollywood has given people an economic opportunity to express themselves and become self-employed.
Nollywood presents an incredible opportunity, not just for employment, but for contributing to Nigeria's economy in a big way. You have to think, first of all, of the primary economic opportunities, which is actually the employment that Nollywood provides for young people as creative people to express themselves, but not just to express themselves, but to make a living at storytelling. We have an incredible advantage in that the Nigerian audience wants to consume Nigerian stories, and because of that, Nollywood will continue to grow.
Government cannot ignore such a large, creative, and striving industry like Nollywood.
Well, I don't think it has much of a choice. The truth of the matter is there is great economic advantage in a film-making environment. I think it would be ill-advised for government to ignore. What I think is critical for this government to do is to go a step forward beyond what the last government has done. The last government has tried to invest money in the creation of content. The last government has tried to invest money in the training of people within the industry.
And also, government should assist Nollywood in fighting piracy of films in Nigeria.
The fact that we have so much copyright infringement, the fact that you still have people violating people's economic investment in such a flagrant way is really sad.
No doubt, Nollywood has come to stay. While millions of Nigerians ask for more creativity from the industry, filmmakers will compete with their counterparts all over the world. In no distant future from now, Nigeria will be a society where filmmaking can strive better. Netu Ilare, CoreTV News, Lagos.
You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break. I'll be back with stories from the world of business, sports, and also Nigeria. Please stay with us.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth. Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we'll bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody have your right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live. And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days. To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria urged President Muhammadu Buhari to be cautious in formulating policies that would have grave implications on the economy. The association said it had been collaborating with the Central Bank of Nigeria to determine items that should be excluded from forex allocations based on availability of local capacity or alternatives. MAN said such collaboration would reveal the actual items that should be excluded from the market. The association asked the federal government to sustain the policies, especially at the time investors might have invested on the domestic production of such items. MAN asked the government to introduce import adjustment tax of 20% on imported finished pharmaceutical product, what is called 3003 and 3004, because Nigerian manufacturers had the capacity to produce them. The Director General of the Industrial Training Fund, Chuka Sonaika, in an interactive session with stakeholders in Plateau State, has called for the training and retraining of more artisans. He decries the rate of unemployment in the country, especially among the youth, which has been directly connected to several vices that is affecting the daily lives of people. Our Plateau State correspondent has more. The Industrial Training Fund, which has its national headquarters located in Jos Plateau State, is calling on the nation and its training institutions to shift a bit from producing university graduates to the production of artisans and skilled workers who will help to drive the economy of the nation and also reduce the cancerous unemployment challenges.
The training managers that it's important that we catch them young. There's no need waiting till students are in universities or graduating before you now begin to tell them you need to go and learn the hard work, you need to go and learn the skill. At that time, it's already too late. If you look at countries that are fully industrialized, you will see the trend. The technical vocational enrollment is higher than the general education enrollment. A lot of them are not struggling to go into the universities to go and study law, medicine, and all of that.
Chuka Sonaika added that the unemployment problem in Nigeria is not subsiding because there are fewer skilled workers, thereby allowing foreigners to dominate the oil and gas sector.
When you see the number of those who are graduating from the technical schools or the engineering department that are coming out, they are going into the banking banks. They are going to take up banking jobs, marketers, chief executives, and all of it. They are not practicing. They are not working in technical sectors. And that is why we're having this big gap. And that's why you see a lot of foreigners coming to take up the technical jobs.
And outside Nigeria, ruling Islamist party dominates urban areas but lost out in total seats to party of authenticity and modernity. The Interior Ministry reported a voter turnout of 52%. Morocco's Islamist party has dominated urban areas in local elections but lost out in total seats to a liberal opposition party in local polls. Preliminary results also suggested. With 81% of ballots counted on Saturday, the party of authenticity and modernity took 20% of votes, translating into 5,064 seats. The ruling Justice and Development Party got 17% of the votes, winning control of councils in the main cities of Casablanca, Tangiers, Rabat, Fez, and Agadir. About 30,000 local council seats and 700 regional council seats were contested by more than 440,000 candidates from at least 30 parties. The Interior Ministry reported a turnout of 52%. The elections were seen as an important test of the popularity of the Islamist-led government, which came to power after the pro-democratic demonstrations of the 2011 Arab Spring. Strikes come one day after 60 Gulf soldiers, including 45 Emirates, were killed in an attack in central Yemen. There are unconfirmed reports that at least 8 people have died in the overnight raids in Sana'a. The United Arab Emirates has bombarded Yemen's Shia Houthi rebels with airstrikes and mourned 45 soldiers. Among at least 60 troops killed on the deadliest day yet for a Saudi-led coalition fighting the rebels. On Saturday, United Arab Emirates warplanes launched pre-dawn bombing raids against the rebels in the eastern province of Marib, where the coalition troops were killed, and on Yemen's rebel-held capital Sana'a, as well as on Houthis' strongest Sana'a in the far north and the central city of Ibb. State media reported its aircraft unleashed waves of airstrikes on the rebel-held capital from the early hours, causing panic among residents. The streets remained deserted as the bombing continued into daylight. There were unconfirmed reports that at least 8 people were killed in the capital. A Emirati officials vowed the Friday's death in a missile attack and a weapon storage depot in Mirab would not alter their commitments to the coalition's mission to restore exiled President Abdurrahman Mansour Hadi. And in the world of sport, Tanzania held Nigeria to a 0-0 draw in Saturday's 2017 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier played at the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium, thus Dar es Salaam. There was no separating the two sides in 90 minutes, with impressive Carl Ikeme, who made his Super Eagles debut on several occasions, denying the Taifa Stars a chance to take maximum points. The towering Wolverhampton Wanderers shot-stopper's best moment was an amazing save in the 67th minute when he denied Thomas Sugango with a long stretch before scrambling to Rachel Gaza's follow-up, which went by the post. With both shots coming from inside the 6-yard box without leading lights in attack, Odion Igalo, Victor Moses, and Gwalan Salami, and missing veteran goalkeeper Vincent Yama. Sunderland's men failed to break down Boniface Kwaza's well-drilled host, who were filled by a crowd that generated a tremendous atmosphere. With these results, the Super Eagles now have 4 points in top Group G, pending the outcome of Sunday's game between Chad and Egypt, while Tanzania, who last made an AFCON appearance 35 years ago, remain at the base of a log with a point. Serena Williams was 2 games from defeat before recovering to beat Bethany Marcus and keep her Grand Slam hopes alive at the US Open. The world #1 came back to win 3-6, 7-5, 6-0 in round 3 at Flushing Meadows. Williams, 33, is aiming to become the first player to win the calendar Grand Slam since 1988. Men top seed Novak Djokovic progressed by beating Andrew Seppi in straight sets. Williams' fight back against fellow American Marta Sands, ranked 100 places lower, means she remains on course to meet older sister Venus in the quarterfinals in New York. Two-time champion Venus Williams, the oldest player in the draw at 35, upset 18-year-old 12th seed Belinda Bencic in a 6-3, 6-4 win. A teacher in New York has been arrested for flying and crashing a drone into empty seats during the tennis match at the U.S. Open. Daniel Velo, 26, has been charged with reckless endangerment in operating a drone in a public park outside of a prescribed area. Tennis officials say no one was injured, though the drone briefly interrupted a tennis match. The incident took place at the Louis Armstrong Stadium on Thursday evening. One of the players in action at the time, 26th seed Flavia Pennetta, described hearing the drone fly by, not knowing what it was and fearing the worst. She said they were never told by the umpire or U.S. Open officials that the object was a drone. It reportedly broke into pieces as it landed, interrupting the match as police and fire emergency personnel investigated. Well, that's it a wrap on CoreTV Primetime News, but before we go, a quick reminder of a major story. Reactions continue to trail the performance of President Muhammadu Buhari in office during the first 100 days of his administration. Election Petition Tribunal sitting unjust appealed to the election of former Plateau State Governor Junior Zhang as senator representing Plateau North. And finally, Super Eagles of Nigeria held Taifa Stars of Tanzania in an AFCON 2017 qualifier in Dar es Salaam. Thanks for staying through with us. I am Elijah Wakil Lasuji. Have a wonderful night rest.